Hey everyone, Studfit here. We have another episode of The Rundown, this time for the wedding tour. And we got such positive reviews that I had to invite Tabor back to join us. Thank you so much for joining us, Tabor.
Hey, glad to be here, Studfit. I appreciate the invite and allowing me to tag along with you again on the wedding tour rundown. I'm excited about talking about all the different features and updates and new things happening in the game. So I'm really ready to get into this with you.
Good. Yeah, these discussions, we could talk about it all day long, so the time flies. So I'm always happy to have you when the schedule allows, but I feel like it's going to be really hard for me to go back to just the monologue that was the rundown before. But we're excited. Every time we can have you join, it'll be a fun conversation. As always, I like to talk a little bit about why the rundown exists. Essentially, I was always looking for what was going on behind the scenes from a meta level strategy perspective for me to be able to best allocate my tickets, rubies, coins, to be able to perform better than my friends, better win as many rubies as possible. And so I understand that the core group that follows and watches my channel are very a niche advanced players. Somebody who takes this game seriously, wants to be able to enjoy this game to its maximum potential, and just likes hearing people talk about Mario Kart. I know I watch a lot of the content creators of Mario Kart Tour, and I can never get enough. So I'm so thankful for your subscriptions and your likes and your views. Please continue to do that. Please support with a subscription or like, or leave a comment if you disagree or agree with anything that we're saying. The more feedback that we get, even just a thumbs up or something, gets this in front of more people. And we're getting close to that milestone 1,000 subscriptions. So thank you so much. Let's jump right in, though. This is a very exciting tour. After a few dud tours, it's been nice to have a very exciting tour. Let's jump right into the week one pipe. There's a lot to pull apart here. I think from this perspective, everyone was opening the app. Everyone was going to the item for this Mario alt, and I think we were all very pleasantly surprised or unpleasantly surprised, depending on how you see coin boxes. So a lot to talk about here, Tabor. For me, I was definitely surprised that a coin box came up. Just a couple tours ago, we just had the Ninja Tour with 3 or 4 to be exact. But I think that's relatively quick, and I think every tour we get excited because we see this little glimpse of something in the background, and it looks like a specific driver. Then we can start to make guesses, and then we say, I wonder if it'll have heart. I wonder if it'll have triple mushroom. I wish it'll have this. And there's always that one guy in the back that's like, I think it's Coinbox. And we're all like, quit taking your crazy pills. And lo and behold, those people in the back were right. This to me was very shocking. I think anytime we have Coinbox, it's an all-in. When you have to go into these pipes, you have to get him at least once. I know there are a lot of people. I'm thinking of Hero specifically that missed out on Bowser Santa last was it December or so, and have been kicking themselves all year for not getting it. And I think from that perspective, sometimes we just have the busyness of life. We don't get to it, but I want to encourage everyone to pull on this if at all possible. You don't have enough rubies, then we've learned a lesson to always have 450 rubies in case a situation like this happens where there is a Coinbox driver, and we have to get them. So from that perspective, there's a lot to unpeel there. And then on top of that, we have this Mario alt that is not it's not Wedding Mario, it's Tuxedo Mario, which I think we were all surprised with as well. It makes you wonder if they'll have if they come out with a Wedding Bowser. Is it going to be Wedding Bowser or Tuxedo Bowser? Or is Nintendo trying to just troll us here and just try to make us think that there's not going to be a Bowser because there's this Tuxedo Mario? Personally, they're trying to be creative when they don't need to be. So in my mind, he could be named anything under the sun Mario, and we'd still pull on him because he's got Coinbox. To me, just based on his, because I'm thinking like a tuxedo, I'm thinking like a black tuxedo, I'm thinking like James Bond, but it's this white kind of tacky, almost Dumb and Dumber style tuxedo. To me, based on the way his hat, I've been driving him here for the last couple of days. to me, it looks like a roll of toilet paper. So in my mind, I'm just to spite Nintendo, I'm gonna call him Toilet Paper Mario, and that's gonna be my name. And it's got the TPM. So if you're just using the acronym TM, just feel free to throw the P in there. But Toilet Paper Mario, man, you have to have him. Tabor, did you pull for him?
I did. I bit the bullet. So I think on day 2, so yesterday, I decided to go ahead and try to get him. I had some rubies saved up, and it was a crazy story. I won't go into too much, but basically, I had my 2 free pipes, nothing. I did 4 10 pulls, all green pipes, no high ends at all. And then finally, my 5th 10 pull, I got Grand Bandwagon, and then on my 6th 10 pull, I got Silver Star Shoot and Mario Tuxedo, or TPM. So I got all 3 about 65 items in. But man, those 4 green pipes in a row were rough. But yeah, I have all 3, and I was excited. I also missed Bowser Santa, so I didn't want to miss this coin boxer when I had the opportunity to get him.
Yeah, it's tough when you have these coin boxes and you're having to pull into these 100 pipes, and you're used to just pulling into 50 pipes or not going all the way in. But I mean, I've heard some horror stories where it's in the bottom 5. I actually had been kicking myself. I recorded it with my phone, and it didn't save the recording. But I won't. It was pretty insane. I reset a number of times because I would keep getting doubles in my first pulls. So I think I reset like 3 times, but got him pretty early, thankfully, or else I would have had to get another pack or 2. But I was very happy with me getting him. I took him to 7. I double uncapped him. And so from my perspective, this is another topic I've been kind of having around the servers is, I think in when it comes to value and when it comes to new items, a good discussion that I had, and this gives you one example, and then I'll take it back here. But Carlos85, definitely follow his channel. He posted in one of the servers I'm in, hey, which glider should I take the level 7 double uncap? And one of those options was the Strawberry Donut, and one of the options was Dry Bowser Umbrella. And from that perspective, you're having to pick between, and kind of in this scenario, you might have 3 or 4 tickets. You might have to be deciding between, do I throw those tickets on, in this case, Toilet Paper Mario, or do I put it into Rosalina Swimwear, or do I put it into Peach Vacation? And so you're having to pick between something that has solid value that's going to help you in ranked with some of the old existing tracks. And like in this example, Strawberry Donut's a great glider. But the Dry Bowser Umbrella is peaking right now, and it's there's always the chance that when a new track is released, that's higher odds that's going to get that track. So I will always err on being, if I know something is going to be valuable in the future, like any Coinbox driver, I'm always going to err on the side of being just a little bit aggressive and being willing to put tickets there. Now, I've made some really dumb mistakes in the past. I think I took, I'm not, dumb is relative, but I took the Penguin Glider to 6, I think really early on. And it was risky. I think I had to drop a lot of tickets, but I had a lot of tickets, so I did it, and I felt good about it. It was going to help me a lot in the I think at this time the Berlin tour, but it ended up overlapping a lot with Cheap Mask, and Cheap Mask ended up being a great glider, and I double uncapped it, and I haven't used it really much since. So from that perspective, there's that risk, and then there's the Purple Bunny, which I felt really good about because I thought it would tie to Nabbit, and also I noticed that there were a lot of Choco tracks associated to the Purple Bunny, and I when I saw that there was this new Choco Island coming out, this is in the Sydney tour. It was a pre-release, and I said I'm going ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put tickets on it, and I put tickets on it, and then it happened to also have a random new Choco Mountain RT track, and it happened to be Top Shelf there. So those are things where you can get risky and you can be a little bit more risky if you are a whale. But I would say the average person, you may not be. You may have to be a little bit more risk adverse and be a little bit more conservative. But I think in general, if you're having to make these choices between, say, do I put tickets on Tuxedo Mario, or do I put tickets on Rosalina Swimwear, PGP, any of these, unless it gives you access to like level 6 and new tracks, I would probably err on the side of Gold King Boo, Gold King Bob-omb, and also Toilet Paper Mario. So there you go, Tabor. A lot to rant about there. But any thoughts just about how you use tickets and how to approach this new Coinbox driver?
Yeah, so I try to again, I'm Gold Pass only, so I try to accumulate driver tickets, and I try to always have 4 in my pocket, just in a case like this, where if I end up getting a new Coinbox driver or whatever, I have 4 to immediately place on it. That would take 4 tickets to a level 1, would take it immediately to level 4 and unlock the Coinbox Plus with the red coins. So that really, I think, is beneficial if I had that. And so I was able to not only have enough rubies to get him, but I also had enough tickets to be able to take him to level 4, and I had enough tickets to single uncap him to start off in this tour, because he's got a lot of use in the ranked courses here. So I wanted to make sure I had that available for me to use. So that was really a big help. And now at this point, I'm starting to save up and trying to get my rubies back to where they need to be and get those tickets back to where they need to be. But I saved them for this very reason, so I was fine with spending them.
It's a good point. So always have 450 rubies. Always have 4 driver tickets ready to go. If you're, that smaller dolphin to mini little minnow. There you go. So those are the new items you see here. One thing I've noticed between last tour and this tour is that they've been toning down the new items. I think there was a while there where it seemed like every tour we're talking 5, 6 new items. And so last tour we only had 2. This tour we only had 3. And it might only be associated with how many new tracks are available. Obviously there weren't a lot last tour, or even really the tour before. And this tour there's really, I believe, just 1. So from that perspective, maybe they're, when there are 3 new tracks, the regular, reverse, and T-track all released, maybe they'll release more. But this has been a nice amount of new items. It's been for a whale who has to keep up tickets for these new items. It's a relief. Now I can finally put tickets on things that have been on my wish list. So I think when we open up Chaco Mountain RT and we see some carts that we have. I mean, this again, I know not everyone does have them, but between I think a lot of people went in for the Rombi Rider. A lot of people went in for the Jade Hot Rod whenever there was obviously a boomerang driver there. I think from that perspective, for what it's worth, it's been a nice relief that there's only 3. I think some of the general trends that we're seeing with some of these new items, they each have some type of variation of Royal Raceway. Obviously, Toilet Paper Mario and Grand Badwagon both have just the regular version, and Glitzy Glider has the R version. Other than that, there's a couple Mario Circuit trends, Rainbow Road. I know specifically like the Remix Rainbow Road, both for Great Bandwagon, also the Glinter Glider. And then the Rainbow Road T for the Glinter Glider, but there's already so much coverage there. I don't know. We'll have to see how things go. I would say don't worry about throwing those 4 tickets on Mario, Toilet Paper Mario, and feeling like you're going to regret it. You're never going to regret that. I know right off the gate he doesn't have that many tracks, but no new driver does. Some new driver might come out with some new coverage, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't necessarily matter. They're going to eventually get some tracks. It's just a matter of is it going to come this tour or next tour? And I think we might be due for a city tour, and we've kind of alluded to potentially Bangkok or Amsterdam. And if that's the case, you hope it's not next tour. You hate to have too many of these city tracks associated to Toilet Paper Mario, but that's certainly likely. But I think when it comes to this coverage, you take it with a grain of salt. Everyone starts out with a low amount. You just kind of hope that the next couple tours are nice tracks that are going to repeat. Tipper, what do you think about the tracks allocated to these 3 new items?
Yeah, so I mean, we only have 1 new course this tour, and that's Chaco Mountain RT. And maybe this is going to become a regular thing. However, I was adding up the number of courses that don't have an RT version just yet, and we actually have 12. So they have quite a ways to go if they want to release a new track with all the variants and then take a break and just do an RT or a couple RTs for a tour. They've got some time to be able to do that. And so that might end up becoming the new rotation or the new happening on all this. The other thing I want to talk about with buffs is that, with these, especially the new items that are coming out, like these 3, is, pretty much what has been shown is that whenever a new item comes out, you can expect that item to get buffed about the next 4 or 5 tours in a row. Anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3. It just depends. But all the recent items in the last 5 tours have continue to get buffed each and every tour. Even if it's just one, they're getting buffed in some way. So this being a Coinbox driver, and it's got 9 tracks to its name, including L3 and L6. All the normal Coinbox drivers have anywhere from 20 and higher. So I have no doubt that Mario Tuxedo is going to get up to that 20 and higher, and they're going to continue to buff and buff and buff and buff until he gets there. So, the question is which courses are going to be in the rotation for the next couple tours, which ones are going to be added to him. Are they going to be overlapping some other Coinbox drivers, or is it going to be unique? Time will tell. But yeah, especially with this Coinbox driver, don't hesitate to put some tickets on him. It's going to help you this tour, and it's going to continue to help you in the next few tours coming along.
I don't normally make buff predictions, but I do predict that Mario Tuxedo will get Choco Mountain R. Not the RT, but the R, when it is re-released back into circulation. The reason being is, I think that the other Choco Mountain tracks all have Coinbox drivers. When you think about PGP and Rosa Swimwear having the regular version and the T version, but the R version just has Dry Bowser as kind of what most people are using, and he's fine. But to me, I always wondered why they didn't have a Coinbox on there. So my prediction, again, I don't make many of them, but when it comes to buffing, I do predict that he'll get the R version as well, and he might be the only Coinbox on that if that's the case. So who knows? Just a shot in the sky. But at this point in time, it's always fun to think about, and from that perspective, I do hear people saying there's just too much overlap. There's just too much overlap. I would say, hey guys, he just came out. He has at least one track of non-overlap, so he's definitely worth whatever tickets you put on him. And end of story. So the rest we'll have to wait and see how things progress when it comes to those tracks. But thanks for mentioning that. You said 12 that don't have RT.
Yeah, there's one city that doesn't have an RT, and then there's 11 normal non-city tracks that don't have an RT just yet.
Do you have that list in front of you?
I do.
You want to read it off?
Yeah, so the ones that I have down that do not have an RT are Tokyo Blur 3, Merry Mountain, Ninja Hideaway, Rock Mountain, Rosalina's Ice World. By the way, I don't know if Rock Mountain will ever get one. Just the way that it's set up, I don't know how an RT would actually work, but that one doesn't have one yet. Rosalina's Ice World. Choco Mountain was on the list until this tour, so that was added. Calamari Desert 2, RMX Choco Island 2, RMX Rainbow Road 2, Choco Island 1, Koopa Troopa Beach 2, DK Summit, and Maple Treeway. All of those do not have an RT variant as of this tour.
Interesting. I think Koopa Troopa Beach, you said that 2 RT? That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Any that you would be looking forward to on that list?
I mean, I think a lot of them would be interesting. RT really, really mixes it up. You got your R, you got your T, and then you put those together, and I feel like it's just a whole different creation. Sometimes they're not as exciting as you would think, but a lot of these, like Rosalina's Ice World and DK Summit, Maple Treeway, like you said, Koopa Troopa Beach 2, right now that's a very dry track. Not dry because it's wet, but it doesn't have a lot of... Yeah. It has a lot of empty spaces that's hard to keep the combo. So it would be interesting to see what they do on that one.
Yeah, obviously Merry Mountain would be cool. But I mean, some of it would be cool. Maple Treeway. Either way, I think we're looking forward to hopefully getting RT tracks, and I do hope that they become a little bit more involved. I think just from talking with Bam from Bam and Gerb's spreadsheet, I think he was talking about not doing the RT separate, like not treating it like a city and treating it like a regular track. And I think that's probably a smart idea in that, we're seeing so many RT tracks be infused into, it's not as big a part of ranked, but for All Cup ranking, like we see RT tracks all the time. So, I think from my perspective on how a whale approaches RTs, I don't treat them any different. It's going to be part of All Cup ranking, and there's going to be trick tours or versus tours or something where it's going to be popping back up. But I'm glad we went on this tangent. RT tracks are a hot topic. Anything else you want to add before we jump into the non-spotlights?
Well, as of right now, and again, in my algorithm, I basically look at which items have which courses as top shelf. I break those down with N's and R's and T's and RTs, and then I use a percentage based on ranked courses and what they've been in the past. And anything recent is going to have more weight than things, a year ago or so. But as of right now, RTs actually account for 25% of my of all the courses.
Wow.
And a lot of that is because it was boosted last tour with the trick tour because everything was RT.
Right.
So
that's 6 tracks. Yep.
And it went down just a little bit this time, but we still have some RTs in rank this tour, so it's sticking around. The ones that's the lowest, other than cities, is just the regular R's. We haven't had near as many regular R's as of late, but the T's are actually the highest at 33%, but the RTs are just below that with 25. Interesting.
Well, good to know. Thanks for taking that tangent with me. Getting into the non-spotlight drivers, nothing too crazy here, but I do think as you're pulling and you see that star spinning, you're hoping you're not getting one of these. You're hoping you're getting Toilet Paper Mario, but at the same time, that the odds of getting a dry Bowser, the odds of getting an Ice Mario are much lower because you do have these 3 spotlight drivers from next week. Also in this pipe, in addition to just a much wider selection in general, with Nabbit being brought in recently, Cat Peach a couple tours before that, even some Dixie and Funky action. So it's nice to know that you're not going to be pulling dry Bowser every time. And for the whales perspective, that's a relief. Getting into non-spotlight carts, nothing really changing here. Just noting again, kind of the same perspective is that there's a couple new carts sprinkled in there, but really just the red taxi between the head honcho, which is obviously normally still in there, and the Gilded Prancer, which we've seen a couple times. It's not in the 100 pipe permanently. It doesn't look like, but I think a lot of people already have it at pretty high levels, and I think they would be looking forward to getting the new red taxi out of any of those. But again, it's so many carts, you can never count on which cart you're going to get. And then last but not least, when it comes to non-spotlights, no new changes here, but I think from that perspective, it's again noted that we have 3 gliders from next week, and so we'll kind of lead into next week's 100 pipe. And this is, for me, the pipe that I am looking forward to going into. We'll kind of get to the special pipe, and I'm not a big fan of it, but this is an interesting pipe. I didn't go too much into the Peach Wedding 50 pipe, that's the special pipe a couple tours ago. I mainly went into the DK and the DK versus Bowser. So from that perspective, I am looking forward to hopefully getting her up a couple levels. That Party Time Pauline, I think I just need one more to get her to 7. So that'll be exciting. So hopefully I'll have that video fully recorded and not get deleted somehow. And you can enjoy that with me. But, I think there's the potential of 9 spotlights. I've even heard 12. I'm not... Either way, it's a great pipe. It could certainly be 12. I don't know, Tabor, if you have a vote. Is it 9? Is it 12? But what are your thoughts on this week? 2 pipe.
Well, I think it's going to be 9 spotlights and 3 regulars. I think this is going to be a 12% high-end pipe. That's my initial guess. But, I mean, it's definitely got some good inventory in it. We've got Party Time Pauline, which is a Coinbox driver. Royal Parachute has been in and out of the top 10. Pretty regularly. Silver and Gold Hearts has a lot of value this tour. There's a lot of top shelves, especially if you're going for ACR rankings. Silver and Gold Hearts can really save you in a lot of the courses if you got it at a high level. Head Honcho has been up there. Peach Wedding is arguably one of the best drivers in the game. I mean, there's just a lot of value in this. It's not as exciting as a new Coinbox driver from Pipe 1, but in terms of getting something on a 10 pull, you have a much better odds. You have probably twice as good of odds on this pipe as you do on Pipe 1. So a lot of good things looking into week 2.
And you can't forget about that to throw icing on the cake, that gift glider with I believe it's Coin Plus. So
yep.
Yeah, you know what? I wish this pipe was last tour. Last tour, I didn't like any of the pipes. I would have loved this pipe. I would have, the Hanafuda pipe that was probably the worst pipe that we've seen. I went into it a little bit, and I wish I didn't. I did get the two that I did not have because I started in April. I did get those two Hanafudas. In fact, I didn't. I don't. I think it's sometimes hard to talk about daily selects and how many high-end tickets a whale gets versus a non-whale. So I don't like to bring it up. Mainly, I don't want people to feel bad. But last tour, I had an outlier. I had about 22 high-end tickets, not including my tier shop, and then 3 in the tier shop. So that's the only reason why I was able to put so many tickets on Toilet Paper Mario. It was literally burning a hole in my pocket. But in order to keep up with the coins, I did have to pull on the pipes, and so from that perspective, it was tough, man. I hated pulling on those pipes. It was brutal. There's nothing I wanted, and I had to keep pulling. But from that perspective, it was nice. It was a relief to get that. One of my strategies was just to keep my coin level under 10 to 20,000. My goal was to keep it under 10,000, but sometimes it didn't work. And then just only get a pack when I ran out of rubies. And so it was almost kind of like a, hey, Nintendo, you're going to get what you bring me when it comes to those daily selects. I've talked to ad exaustium about my opinions on the daily selects. But from that perspective, I just wanted to say I am so excited for this pipe. There's good items. These are for, this silver and gold hearts. If you don't have it and you want to be able to go for ACR, we'll get to it here in a second. But it's a monster this tour.
This could very well be the pipe 2 could very well be a top 10 overall pipe. Just the fact that it's possibly going to have 12 high ends. It's got a coin box in it. It's got a lot of valuable items. It's going to have a great coins per ruby value. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be really, really, really valuable, especially for those people that either are have some coins to spend and are looking to level up, or those people that just don't have any of these items and are really wanting to expand their inventory. I think this will be a really valuable one for a lot of people.
I agree 100%. I know there's going to be some people that only pull the Party Time Toad. But hey, at this point in time, if that's the worst that you have, I'd rather have that than some of the other options we've had, like Hanafuda. So great pipe there. Not as exciting, the special pipe. And this is, from what I've understood, called the open wheel pipe. A 50 pipe, no spotlights. My prediction is 3 high-end carts. I'm probably going to skip this entirely. I already have the Rose Queen at 7. I already have the Kabuki Dasher at 7. Really, the only card I don't have is this Mark II, and it might be good. It's not moving the needle for me. I know a couple people are really excited about this Mark II, and it looks cool. It's not worth my rubies in my opinion. But Tabor, coming from a Gold Pass only perspective, what are your thoughts on this special pipe?
So my initial reaction when I saw this in data mining was that Rose Queen is in it. This is the first time that Rose Queen has ever been in a pipe. It's been banner only leading up to this point, and that's always just that cart that any free to play or Gold Pass only people just kind of looked at and was like, well, I am never going to get that. And now you have the opportunity to do that. Now, again, if there's no spotlights, you're not guaranteed, but at least you have a chance. And again, it's one of the most valuable parts in the game. Sweet Day Tripper is not too bad either. The Mark II, it has some value this tour, but overall, I don't know if it's going to be worth it in the long run. Iron Cucumber and the Kabuki Dasher, again, both decent. But there's nothing to the Rose Queen is what stands out to me the most. But again, since you're not guaranteed, it's a gamble, like it always is with special pipes.
Yeah, I totally forgot it wasn't in the pipe. It's only been in packs, so I certainly take that for granted. Talking about packs, Tabor, I'll let you actually take this one first because we have some unique options and that we have these. We see it every so often. In fact, for this Happy Ride, we've seen it 3 times. Where it is brought back and it's for a nominal fee. You can get it maximum of 3 times. And I know you passed on the Happy Ride the first time and you got it the second time. Are you going to be getting it and leveling it up this time? And then also, how do you treat the Glinton Glider?
So again, I'm Gold Pass only, but I don't know if this categorizes me as a minnow or whatever, but if it's a new item that I don't have as as like a $4 pack or a $3 or $2 pack or whatever, I'll go ahead and purchase that. But Happy Ride, you're right. I didn't get it the first time around during the Peach Tour, I believe, when Royal Raceway debuted. I did get it the second time when they offered it, because I was surprised that they actually offered it again. And again, I'm surprised they're offering it a third time. I'm going to pass on that. I won't buy that. I've got tickets. I can level that up. I'm not going to spend $4 to level that up. I don't think that's good on my part. But Glinting Glider is not available in a pipe. The only way that you can get this glider is through this $4 package. So I'll probably go ahead and purchase this. It doesn't have a lot of value this tour, but it, as we've seen before, some of these little low single item packs can sometimes carry a lot of value later on. So I don't want to be looking back and being like, oh, I should have got the Glinting Glider. I'll go ahead and purchase that. So both of these, I believe, are really good deals. Happy Ride has already proved itself. It was the number one for the longest time. Until just recently, but still is really good value if you've got it leveled up high. And then Glinting Glider, there's no good predictor of what kind of value it's going to hold, but the fact that it's exclusive, a $4 item, just like a lot of the items that are exclusively in a pack only, like Rose Queen and some other ones, they usually carry themselves pretty well. So I don't have a problem with shelling out $4. It's not going to break the bank to be able to do this.
And if you've been getting some of the premium challenges, this is one where you might skip the premium challenge and put that allocate those funds towards that Glitter Glider, because with Ice Mario it's not as enticing. But I do think it's kind of interesting that Nintendo is kind of slipping a couple different ways to get you to pull out your wallet. When it comes to having these special items exclusive without rubies, at a low nominal cost, and then you have these premium challenges, and now they even have a free gold pipe every 3 months, or the spin of the wheel, or whatever they're giving to us. They're making it just a little bit sneaky when it comes to how it's collecting revenue from the masses. So it's just interesting to see how things have changed over the last couple months, even on how they're trying to communicate with us and be able to take some of what they didn't have access to before. So it's sneaky there. Again, anytime when we're talking about packs, anytime we're talking about this, definitely consult your accountant or spouse or whatever. These are definitely, don't listen to me above anything else there. I think from that perspective, what you're probably going to get. But it's fun just to talk about, especially also mentioning what next week's packs are. If you don't have access to data mining and different servers and whatnot, this is a great way to find out that information. We'll start with this week, and specifically the glider that you've probably heard a lot about, the Silver Bells. I consider a stud. Is it the most coverage, or the top glider when it comes to skill? Not necessarily, but it's been sneaky good. It's been one that I've always been lagging behind. I've had to throw tickets at it. I only seem to be throwing as minimal tickets as possible, and then regretting not just going all in on it early. So it's a great pack. It's considered a stud pack to me, as compared to the other pack, which is mostly a dud. I mean, I think if you don't have Peach Vacation, you're either a new player, or you didn't want her to begin with. At this point in time, it seems like almost everyone has her. And the Platinum Taxi, you may have it, you may and not use it, or you may have it or not have it and wouldn't use it anyway. But I mean, it's already had its time. It was kind of a cool card at one point in time, but that was literally 9 months ago, guys. This is 2021. We're coming into the summer. It's June. This card hasn't been relevant in a long time. And similar to Peach Vacation, she's had her time, but she's still. That's why I say it's mostly a dud. There's some spark there that if you have her at 6 and 2 or 3/5, you might get the back. I'm not going to rain on your parade. Go ahead and do that. But from my perspective, I just consider this a pack that I probably wouldn't be going into. And then when we're talking about next week, a glider that I know I was happy to pull a couple months ago, and definitely one I'll be getting. The Sunset Balloons. It's a beautiful glider. It's been rising up in the top 10. There's a lot of big fans of it. The one downside is it being Banana Plus. I'm not that big of a fan of that. by that, but I'm not going to take anything away from it when it comes to it's a solid stud for sure. And this next pack, I thought I'd have some fun with it. Like, what the dud? This is a like scratching my head. Now, I will say, and I'll kind of offer this up to you, Tabor. Anytime we have like an outlier like this, I always wonder what's going on. I wonder if Nintendo's either just trolling us and just saying, you don't want this, but we're gonna give it to you. Just if you want rubies, you're gonna have to get a peach cherub, baby cherub. But I will say that the Dreamy Egg is actually a really awesome looking cart. I wish they would buff it appropriately. I haven't seen it being buffed that much. But the Peach Cherub makes me wonder if there will be a baby tour coming up in the next couple months, or if maybe there's this is some. I'm assuming it's only because of like a wedding and there's like a hearts and there's she's, I don't know. To me, it's so perplexing. That's why I gave it the what the dud. But what are your thoughts on that pack? Could it be kind of a tipping of the hand of what could be coming in the future, or is this just it's literally trying desperately to put it in a pack and just trying to tie it to whatever loose ends that are out there?
Yeah, so I've kind of just I've gave up on trying to figure out what Nintendo does, because I feel like for a while I could follow and I could understand, and I felt like there was a system and there was a pattern. This one just threw me as well. I was just like, who's going to spend $40 for a Baby Peach Cherub and this Dreamy Egg, which both of them don't, especially Baby Peach Cherub has very low value, especially as a heart skill. And then Dreamy Egg is just, okay, it's kind of run of the mill. It's just kind of middle of the line of a high end, not worth the money, I don't think. So I don't know. Maybe there's some pattern. Maybe there's some feature coming up that will make people look back and be like, oh, so that makes sense. That's why they did it. But there's been other times in the past where things happen, and I thought, okay, well, now we're going to look ahead. Something's going to come up that involves it, and nothing ever does. So who knows? Nintendo's just, I think, trying to do whatever they can to pull in some revenue.
There you go. We also have something new this tour, which is there's different names for it. I know Sammy D has already coined it the TCP, the Today's Challenge pipe. Kind of wish it was just like the login pipe or something like that, just so we didn't have it more T's and C's and P's in our acronyms. But hey, we're calling it. It's kind of taken off, so we'll jump on the bandwagon. We'll call it the TCP, the Today's Challenge pipe. Now I will preface this. Since this was released literally 3 days ago, we've been in the Kart Life server. They've been trying to keep tallies on this data, so it's way too early to take a look at anything and say these are the solid stats. It's just a small population of data, a small sample size that does not equal a true population of data. But from that perspective, we've collected about 209 data points of what people have collected, and so from that we can start to get a little bit of indication as to what is most likely going to come. And again, just for those who don't know, the Today's Challenge pipe is when you drive their silly driver that they allocate towards you for that day, and then you get to be able to pull once in that pipe. They've already told us what is in that pipe, but we're just trying to get a better understanding of those odds. So, Tabor, I know you've been the one kind of collecting and looking at this data, so I'll let you take over. I don't want to steal any of your thunder.
No, you're good. So these are pretty much all the different options that of things that you can get whenever you complete today's challenge. Again, all you have to do is go into a race with a pre-selected driver and cart and glider and pre-selected course. And what I've seen is the last couple of days, it happens to be the first course of the newly unlocked cup of that day. And I don't know if that pattern's gonna continue or not, but pretty much once you finish that race, and you don't even have to get first. I've seen a lot of people say that they've gotten fourth and they've gotten 10th, or not 10th, they've gotten 7th, they've gotten 2nd. Some people got first. You're going to get something no matter what. And I don't think the higher that you place, the more likely you're going to get a rare item. I think it's just equal chance. Someone I saw got 4th today in a Today's Challenge race, and they got one of the best items out there. So you just have to complete the race, from what I understand. But the options out here are, you have 4 options for coins. You can get 300, 500, 1,000, or 10,000. Excuse me, 10,000. For rubies, you can get 3, 5, 10, or even 45 rubies. Yep, for doing one race, you could actually get 45 rubies. You could get item tickets of 5 and 10. And again, those tickets are just what you would use during a race. If you wanted to get an extra item box, these are the item tickets that you would use. And so they're sometimes available in the daily selects, but this is another opportunity to be able to get some from this. And again, these things happen every day. And then there's the normal drivers, karts, and gliders, either normal, super, or high-end. And these are the ones that are typically permanent in a regular pipe. So yeah, you can get Pink Gold Peach from this. You could get Dry Bowser Umbrella. You could get the Steel Driver. You could get all kinds of high-end ones just by simply completing the race first thing. So what I did, and again, this is a very rough estimate, like Studfit said, but I've been collecting these. I'm actually up to like 230 now, a little bit more than that. But as these continue to come in, hopefully these percentages will fluctuate. I know it can be a little skewed because not everybody reports, and I'm only looking at a certain place of people who are part of a channel, but hopefully it'll still work out a little bit better. To me, it looks like coins and rubies are more likely than every other category. About 25% for each one, and for the every other category, it's anywhere between 10 and 15% of a chance. And as it should be, getting 45 rubies is going to be less likely than getting 3 rubies. Same with 10,000 coins, less likely than getting 300 coins. So these are all the different options that they added in, and me personally, I think this is an amazing addition to the game. We actually not only do this, but we get login bonuses this tour as well. They went ahead and double dipped for us, so we can get both. But the login bonuses are going to go away after this tour, and we're only going to have this. So this will be our opportunity to be able to get some things every day. It's a great start to every day, and you can really get some really impressive items as well.
Good. Yeah, I know. We're kind of talking about this. You know, it'd be nice to get a new high end, but because they're from the all clear pipe or from the 100 pipes, it might be nice just to have the rubies and be able to you do with it as you may. You know, especially if you're thinking that versus a pipe where like this week 2 pipe where you might have 12% high end odds. You know, it could be worth 2 high ends. You know, and also not ones that you see in every single pipe. So yeah, I think ultimately, you know, rubies are king in this game. It's something you can't always earn, whereas coins you can earn throughout the game a number of different ways. I think rubies are always I think the number one thing I'm looking for. But I was curious, for a gold pass only, are coins equal with rubies, or what are you hoping for something specific?
I mean, as gold pass only, what I would want is, again, rubies for me are pretty rare. I get them when I complete the ranks for each week, and I get them as a gold pass gift and other gifts. I know they've gotten a little bit more free to give sometimes with all these different things that are involved in the game, which is great. But as a non-pack buyer, rubies are always going to be rare for me. So rubies are going to be great. Coins are also going to be up there as well. But if they're going to give me a high-end driver cart or glider that is going to help me level up, or even one that I don't have, great. The normals and the supers I could do without. It's not like I have many supers to level 7, but that's great. Again, I'm not going to complain about anything. This is something that Nintendo did with their generosity, and I think no matter what I get, even if it's just a lowly normal driver and it turns in for coins, I'm going to be happy with it because that's more than what I would have got before.
Definitely an improvement. Definitely send feedback thanking them if you have the time. But I mean, ultimately, that's an improvement, and we came out of the blue. So I think we're all very, very happy about that. As for the buffing, let's talk a little bit about who got buffed when it comes to the drivers, Tabor. Tabor, you with us?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So tell us who got buffed.
Yeah. So in the drivers, we have these 3 categories. We had people that got 3 buffs, 2 buffs, or 1 buffs. The 3 buffs are Baby Mario Koala, which is a fairly recent one, came out in the Sydney Tour. I got 3 buffs and is now up to 16 total tracks, with 2 of those being cities. Builder Toette also got 3 buffs. Now has 12 total tracks. Was introduced last tour in the Trick Tour. Already has 12, so that's pretty impressive. And then Shy Guy Ninja got buffed 3 times. It now has 20 tracks, one of those being City. Again, the only the only boomerang driver in the game. So it's
high end, yes. Mm-hmm.
High end. So we'll just see where that value ends up leading it. The ones that got 2 buffs are Birdo Black, Cat Toad, and Green Shy Guy, one of the supers that were introduced recently. And again, all of these have some value, nothing really outstanding. And then the ones that got 1 buff is Builder Toad. And man, Builder Toad's my man. I happen to have got him on the first Trick Tour, and it's just kind of a fluke. And he has bailed me out in so many different ones. I know he's not a top 10 or top 15 driver, but man, I mean, he's really valuable for me. He's all the way up to 25 tracks now, with 6 of those being cities. But he was added into Choco Mountain RT, which again is one of the newer tracks. And I think Nintendo is just in love with Builder Toad. They just continue to buff and add him to things that you don't have anything else of. So for those people that have Builder Toad, man, you have, hopefully you understand what I'm talking about, because it's really been beneficial to you. King Bomb Gold got 1. Luigi Lederhosen from the Berlin Tour got 1. White Yoshi and Blue Yoshi. And Blue Yoshi's continuing to impress as well. I mean, it's actually not a bad super driver. I know it doesn't have as many courses as the Green Shy Guy up there, but Blue Yoshi, I think, has a little bit of value going on for a super driver. But these are all the ones that we've had a total of 11 drivers that got buffed this tour. And again, some of them aren't really exciting, but for those of people that didn't have Choco Mountain RT, you've got some of these on here that really bailed you out.
Yeah, I think the Choco Mountain RT, they were, I think, and maybe that's a trend with all RTs, but they're just a little bit more willing to give you, less paywalled drivers or something along those lines. Builder Toads come in clutch for me as well, to be honest with you. I think I used him for Merry Mountain when it was released last December. Been using him on this Royal Raceway RT. I've been using him a lot as well. Thankfully, I was able to get Toilet Paper Mario, and so I don't have to use him this week. But he would have been my only option this week had it not be for that. And I think that's one of the strategies that I know that I take is unless it's a top skill, which we're talking about Coinbox, Boomerang, Lucky 7, Giant Banana. Unless it's one of those skills, if it's in week 1 pipe, I just skip it entirely. I don't even go, like, I really wanted that Rombi runner. I didn't even go into that pipe because I didn't want whatever else was in there. So I kind of make that distinction. And it seems like almost every tour, though, Nintendo's never left me hanging without a driver. Usually they let one driver that is, a little bit, has been accessed before, that hasn't been one of these that you talked about earlier, being buffed one of the last 4 or 5 tours. And for me, it's been Builder Toad. So, I'm curious now to look into Lou's coverage and wonder what his ranked percentage is. But he's been coming in clutch, and I know I get a lot of people that reach out to me and say, hey, is White Yoshi in the top 10 now? Is it in the top 15? I'm like, dude, it's not even nowhere close to anything. And please, like, if you can avoid putting tickets in anything other than these top skills, it's going to help you out, because it's just a matter of time before King Babam gets another track that White Yoshi had, or he gets another track that Cat Toad had, and these are things that happen in the game all the time. And it's important to understand that so that you do have the right ticket. So like I think with a good example, kind of along the same lines of Builder Toad, for Royal Raceway RT, I think I've been using Builder Toad at level 4. I was sitting on double-digit tickets. Could I put tickets on them? Yeah, but I also know that coverage is going to go away, so I don't want to put tickets in something there. And I was able to use those tickets towards a driver that right off the bat I know is going to be worth it, and I'm going to probably use him on the tracks that he has it. So from that perspective, again, I want to reiterate that I think there are a lot of people that reach out to me and probably reach out to you, Tabor, is, hey, is this item on the top 10 list yet? And I'm like, dude, nowhere close. And it's not because of that item, but it's just the way the algorithm is set up is, the skill takes in a percentage there, as well as also, that coverage and that percentage there. So a lot to take in there. And another topic around that I kind of wanted to use as a transition is around karts. So a lot of people are in this situation with Choco Mountain RT, and they're having to pick between the Jade Hot Rod, between the Cacti, between all these, the Rombi Runner, and saying, hey, what should I put tickets on for this Choco Island? Because they're all either like level 1 or all level 3. And I will say, my vote. I think there's a lot of fan favorites for the Romby Runner, and I by all means, if you're a DK fan and you love that, go ahead and go for it. But this Jade Hot Rod got 3 new tracks, one of which is obviously the brand new track. It's one that a lot of people have because they pulled for the Boomerang driver, the only high end that Tabor was alluding to, and it's number 11 on our list. That is phenomenal. It jumped up a substantial amount. I did a double take when I saw it get to number 11, but to me, that would, if you're having to make a decision for Chaco Mountain RT of what you're going to put tickets on, my vote would be Jade Hot Rod. As I mentioned, Romby Runner now up to 15. It's got 0 cities, and Pink Dozer, the brand new kart from last tour, up to 11 total cities, total tracks, 0 cities. Now, we did have a couple get buffed. We had the Black Turbo Birdo, now number 10 on our list. That one's been, I've had a lot of people reach out and saying, hey, this one's been clutch for me. It's number 10. It's number 10 for a reason. The algorithm doesn't lie. You're probably seeing what this algorithm is seeing, which is a top 10 kart, surprisingly. A lot of people didn't go into this pipe. I have it somehow. I think I did a random 10 pull, and I have it. So that'll be nice. I'm probably not going to put tickets on it just because it's going to take it so many tickets to try to get it up to where I have everything else. But for what it's worth, we might see this kind of similar to like the Fast Frank, where it's a top card. It kind of rose surprisingly out of a pipe not everyone pulled on. But if you have it, feel free to throw tickets on it. It is a top 10 kart. We also have the Jet Cruiser, which is a cool looking kart. I think that one's one I don't have that I kind of wish I did, just similar to kind of the Romby Runner. But again, I stick to my rules. Inferno Flyer, again, a new kart there, 13 tracks, 0 cities. This Purple Bunny, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, this is one that I put tickets on, I think for the Sydney Tour. I think I took it to 5 there, and then I took it to 6. For me, it was once I found out that there was a Chaco Island remix or RT or whatever it was coming out. I looked at the Purple Bunny's coverage. He has a lot of chocolate tracks, and so for me, I put tickets then, and I don't have to put any tickets on a kart this tour, which is really nice. But it's up to 17. It does have 4 cities though, including some of the Sydney stuff. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. But it's one of my personal. I was really hoping he would have some of the Nabbit's tracks due to being an actual literal Purple Bunny. But it is what it is there. Cactice, now up to 15. It's another popular choice for the Chaco Mountain RT. And obviously, really the only one on that top shelf that is a part of the 100 pipe as a permanent item. So that might be the only option you have. Definitely not a bad one. 15 tracks isn't a lot, but it's a newer karts, and you know how I feel about newer stuff. Crimson Hot Rod up to 17 tracks, 0 cities. That's nice. So that's again another one of those commemorative items there. Fast Frank with 19 non-city tracks, 5 cities. It's a lot of cities, but still number 7 on our list. Orange Streamliner, 13 non-city. Rose Taxi up to 17 non-city. White Turbo Birdo, 15 non-city, and then Blue Royal, Royale, up to 8 non-cities. What would you like to talk about our karts here, Tabor?
Yeah, so the only interesting thing that I see about this list is that only one of them is permanent in the pipe, and that's Cactice. All these other ones are pretty, pretty exclusive, and so it's always exciting whenever you see a normal permanent item getting buffed. It kind of helps you, get excited if you happen to have accidentally pulled it in one of the pipes. But all these other ones are just ones that were in a spotlight at one point, or the Blue Royale was a ranked reward, not a ranked reward. It was a gold pass gift, I believe. Black Turbo Birdo and Jade Hot Rod, we're going to talk about them later on about why they're where they are, and they made some impressive jumps this tour. But yeah, Cactice getting that buff, it's always going to be exciting when you see one of those. Just like if you would have saw, one of the other standard karts or one of the other standard drivers or gliders, it's always good. But yeah, some definitely good buffs here, and a lot of these I think are going to save you on all this. We do have some good values. Only 2 of these are in the top 10 that got buffed, but still some exciting changes.
Good. Tell us who got buffed when it came to the gliders, Tabor.
Yeah, so we had a bigger list, actually. This might have been the first tour that we've ever had more buffed gliders than we've had karts. Just because there's so many karts in the game, of course, there's going to be more buffed karts than anything else. and that didn't work out. I think there's one extra buffed glider this tour compared to Karts. So we have 4 of them that got 3 buffs. That's 8-bit Bullet Bill, Black Toe Beam Balloons, Bright Balloons, and Surfmaster. All of those are continuing to add value with these buffs. And again, this is the fact that they're on this list, both for drivers and karts and gliders, is helping their overall ranking. As more courses are added to their inventory, then that value is going to go up higher. So all of these are going to end up going up just a little bit. But again, something about those 8-bits, whether it's Bullet Bill or Fire Flower or Star, they've got some good value, and I think the 8-bit Bullet Bill is an early enough one that it's starting to increase. Black Toe Beam Balloons got 3 from 10 to 13. I believe that's also a top shelf on the new Chaco Mountain, and so that hopefully will help a lot of you. Bright Balloons got 3 to go to 18 non-cities, and Surfmaster went to 16. For the 2 buffs, again, our Dry Bowser Umbrella, which continues to impress, ended up getting 2 and is now up to 23, has a total of 27 courses. And that right there, I believe, ties Dragon Wings. Dragon Wings has always been on top in terms of the number of top shelf courses that it contains. It was not just on top, it was by far on top, ahead of everything else by 3 or 4 courses. Dry Bowser Umbrella over the last couple courses have just finally caught up with it. Not only took over the #1 spot, but does now have the most courses, tied with the most courses with Dragon Wings. Starry Great Sail got 2, Rose Parasol got 2. And then the ones that got 1 buff, and there's some great valuable ones down here. 4 of the top 10s are down here that got 1 buff. Calico Parafoil, 8-bit Fireflower, Black Great Sail, Ninja Scroll, all of those got 1 buff and are continuing to increase value with the courses. Butterfly Prism, Silver Starshoot, which was our spotlight this week. Silver Manta Glider and Snow Crystals all also got 1 buff. So again, a really, really impressive list, I think, on the buffed gliders, but especially just the notable ones, the 8-bit ones, the Dry Bowser Umbrella, Silver Starshoot, which has always been hovering around that top 10 for a long time. Just some positive things for those people that have any of these.
Yeah, there's a lot of green on this list. When I mean green, being those numbers with the hashtags on them. So a lot of already pretty beefy items are continuing getting buffed. But yeah, it is nice to see those 8-bits. I'm not a big 8-bit fan, but I do like the Bullet Bill. I have a Gold Pass only account, and I took that that Bullet Bill one. I double uncapped it, just hoping because I needed it to try to get a driver ticket last tour. But I mean, I just think that this is a rich getting richer type of scenario. I'll kind of talk a little bit about some of the gliders that are on the top 10 when we get to that section. So let's use that as a segue to talk a little bit about this top 10. And with that being said, I'll kind of mention a glider specifically. I heard this morning somebody was talking about they can't wait to put tickets on the Snow Crystals because it just got buffed. And I have it like at level 3. I don't ever see it. I don't ever think about it. So what's going on with it? I kind of looked at each of the stats, and that's what my encouragement would be, is if you ever wonder why something isn't a certain way, if you're ever wondering why Builder Toad isn't a top 10 driver, go to Tabor spreadsheet. It's in the links below, and click into it and take a look at what its weighted rank value is, what its course coverage value is, what its weighted course value is. So a good example is, for me, I looked at a lot of the tracks that the Snow Crystals had a lot of overlap with the Silver Starshoot. So the argument that I heard was, well, then why isn't it the same as Silver Starshoot? Well, I looked at it, and the course coverage value, which is the most important factor for me, it's the how many top shelves, the average of the top shelf items that it shares with over all of its tracks. So, for instance, a glider that has a lot of the older stuff is going to probably have a higher number or a higher average. So like a newer item that just has like five gliders on that top shelf, that's going to have a better score. And so I looked at that list, and I thought it was an interesting list. Number 1 was Dragon Wings. Number 2 was Dry Bowser Umbrella. 3 was Calico Parafoil, Black Sail, Silver Starshoot, 8-bit Star, Sunset Balloons, and so really all those are top 10 gliders, and I just read the first 7. But some that stood out that weren't on that list, Bright Balloons is number 8 on that list, above Strawberry Donut. New Year's 2021 was number 11. And so these are ones that don't have a lot of other top shelf options, but maybe they just don't have enough coverage, or maybe they haven't been in ranked yet, but could be in the future. They could get new tracks and could finally be able to see the benefit. So I think it's just always good to just kind of understand the algorithm. And so definitely check out, this is more of a promotion of Tabor's spreadsheet. Take a look at it and see what each of these categories are, and get a better understanding. You know, in this scenario, the snow crystals was like 29th, and that was its best category. I think the weighted rank value and the WC value, the weighted course value, was 49 and 48. So, you know, I think from that perspective, it's good to understand where things lie and why it's that way. So, again, just, you know, take our top 10 with a grain of salt. If you want to know a little bit more, dig into the spreadsheet, take a look at that data. Anything you want to add to that, Tabor? Or are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, just real quick. So, again, there's 5 categories. The one thing that doesn't change, and I need to get on this, is the item skill. We rank all those item skills according to what we believe is the most valuable down to and that doesn't change from tour to tour. That's the only one that stays stagnant. The only way it would change, the rankings would change, is if a new item was thrown in that all of a sudden was better than a skill that's already existing. All the other ones are going to change. And keep in mind that items can, again, not very many items actually get worse. Items get better, which makes those items get worse. Some items just stay the same, but then they get jumped. So items don't necessarily go down, they just get surpassed. But weighted, all of these, again, the main ways that an item can improve is that if it's in ranked, especially multiple times, that really helps. If it has a buff, gets some buffs for that tour. Especially if it's a top shelf on a brand new course, because again, a brand new course is going to have less top shelf items than, let's say, Dino Jungle or Rock Mountain, or something that's a course that's been established for a long time. Those have there's some courses out there that have like 15 to 20, I think that many, 15 to 20 top shelf items, and those values, those CCV values, are not going to be as high as those courses that only have 5 or 6 top shelf values. Then those are going to be more important. So just keep in mind that as things change, then that's where these items will improve. Another way that it can improve is that, again, this continuous change of percentages of the type of course types. I already said that the highest value, the most valuable course type right now is trick with 33%. So a lot of those items that have a huge amount of trick courses as the top shelf are going to look better right now. And again, that might change as these rankings change throughout each tour. But you know, we're just kind of going with the flow. And right now, trick is the king. So those items that have a lot of tricks are gonna look really well, and that's going to jump up.
Yeah, and as always, definitely check out Bam and Gerb's spreadsheet for your own specific decisions when it comes to where you can put tickets. But these are always just, these are going to be the top 10 items that are going to be on most people's most valuable items. And so, you know, from that perspective, just know that these are all very, very general, but we have built this algorithm to be able to articulate the best average. And it's this algorithm, I love it, Tabor. It's not my algorithm, it's yours, but I've adopted it because it seems to be on point every single time. And with that being said, I think it's a great way to just lead off by saying our new number 1 driver, King Bob Gold. That's right. He's jumped 2 spots. He is now the number 1 Coinbox driver. It's been a while where Dry Bones Gold had been on top, but we have King Bob, the number 1 driver in the game. And to me, it was no surprise. I triple uncapped him, I think the tour he came out, because I just knew it was a matter of time before he was going to be here. I think mainly because he was in a special pipe and a 50 pipe and a spotlight. And I think from that perspective, Nintendo said, this is your guy. This is your guy. He's going to be good. And they have not let us down. He's had ranked tracks left and right. He's an absolute baller. Definitely put tickets on him. If even if you don't need to, like if save them if you and wait for that moment. Maybe even carve out those 4 just in case something like this tour comes up. But I mean, he is a great valuable driver. Definitely, I think for me, I think a lot of people are on the cusp of should I triple cap something or not. And I think this is an important topic to discuss as well. We now we've gotten so many tickets over literally almost a full year, so many cap tickets that there's a point of diminishing return where should I double cap this and double cap that? I think the strategy all along has been double cap as many things as possible. Don't worry about triple capping. Even single caps will help you a little bit, but double capping was and that's been kind of the case for the last 6 months. But right now we are right on the cusp of where triple capping will help you out and where it will make a big difference versus putting a double cap on something that has overlap with other double caps. And so you have to play around with things in the BAM and Gerb spreadsheet. For me, I would heavily look into which driver might a triple cap work out best for you. I think for my vote, it's either going to be King Boo Gold or this King Bob-omb Gold. So those are going to be probably the best options. But then you're also going to have maybe Rosalina Swimwear or maybe even Dry Bones Gold still. Think about it. Take a look at the spreadsheet. Play around with things. But my vote would obviously be this #1 driver, and it's helped out. We do this thing in the Kart Life server to be the pit crew chief, and I've won it, I think, like every other week for the last couple of weeks, and that's really a testament, really since the Ninja Tour. The main testament there is because I triple capped him, and I was trying to, in my mind, play full house while everyone was playing to try to win that 3 of a kind. So, in that mindset, if you're looking at triple capping, I think he might be a good vote. But ultimately, it's like how you allocate these tickets. Are you going to be able to make it an advantage over the majority of people out there? And that's what this list is for. We'll go right down the line. Nabbit at number 2. Sorry, guys. I got really excited about King Bo Gold getting number 1. King Bob-omb Gold. That's a phenomenal. We don't see very much action at the top, but he is there. So sorry to get too excited there. But Nabbit's still a solid driver, number 2. He was there, and he dethroned Dry Bones Gold, who had made himself home. But both of those dropped down 1 spot at 2 and 3 now. Lackage Party Time, my boy, he got buffed for those 4 or 5 tours, as Tabor was mentioning. And that's been a little crickety. But you know what? He's held pretty tough. I've probably seen more steady lines than dropping lines. He might have dropped twice here in the last 5 or 6 tours. But ultimately, he's a solid driver at number 4 on our list. Pink Gold Peach at number 5, up 1 spot. Rosalina Swimwear up 2. Both of those Coinbox drivers are probably going to be top 10 drivers. But I think in my mindset of do I triple cap Pink Gold Peach or King Bob-omb Gold, I'm going to try to probably lean towards that newer item, similar to the conversation I was having earlier with the Strawberry Donut versus Dry Bowser Umbrella. Peach Wedding, unfortunately, has seen better days. She's now at 7, dropped 2 spots. That is sad, but she is in the week 2 pipe. Still a solid top 10 item. We'll see how long she's in the top 10. I don't know. I could see her dropping 2 more spots and then 2 more spots, and then she's kind of on the outside looking in. But at the same point in time, we've had this Mario Halloween, dude, up 3 spots. I feel bad every time I talk about him on the top 10 because I don't think he gets enough love in the community, similar to Fast Frank or whatever. But he's a solid top 10 driver, and you can't deny that. Black Yoshi down 2 spots, and then Penguin Luigi, both of those 2 former coverage kings at number 9 and number 10 on our list. And then when we move into the outside looking in, the number 11 through 15, King Boo Gold, Peach Vacation, Gold Koopa Free Running. Number 14, Luigi Lederhosen. Number 15, the regular non-gold King Bob. So Tabor, probably a lot that you'd like to comment here. Tell us your thoughts on this top 10. Were you surprised that King Bob-omb Gold moved to number 1?
No, he had momentum behind him, and it was just a matter of time before he jumped there. And especially with his ranked use, he has the 2nd highest ranked percentage use of any driver in the game, only behind Mario Tuxedo, which has an incredibly high percentage because it's brand new and he's in all kinds of ones. But King Bomb is just, I think he's like got a 26 or 27% ranked mode use, and I know he's still early. He hasn't really been released that long ago, but Nintendo's just continuing to pile on his use in ranked mode. The rest of these, again, just keep in mind, even these 4 that have the downward arrow and the 2 that are stagnant, didn't move anywhere, these are still very, very good drivers. Again, this doesn't take into account your level, your inventory, the coverage, the overlaps, anything like that. This is just kind of an objective view of where everything is, and you can see that all of these can be argued of being a very good driver. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Coinbox drivers in the top 10, plus looks like 3 more in 11 through 15. And then that, I think would make sense. It's one of the best skills in the game, and it's kind of, everybody went crazy when they saw Mario Tuxedo because he had Coinbox, and that's the testament of why people like Coinbox and why some of those Coinbox characters are so good. So a good shakeup in this list. Exciting to have a new number 1. Nothing against Nabbit or Drybones, but I think King Bomb has been most deserving recently.
Good points there. Yeah, I mean, I even hear the argument from some people that there shouldn't be anyone except for Coinbox drivers on a top 10 list. But at the same point in time, I mean, I've probably used Penguin Luigi sometimes more than Rosa Swimwear for ranked. Or there's times where I've had to use somebody, and thank God that I had them at a certain level. Good points there. We'll move right into, especially based on time, our top 10 cards, Tabor. Take it from here.
Yeah, so some interesting numbers here as we start moving along. Black Dozer and Happy Ride stayed put with 1 and 2, and honestly, and it doesn't show this, but honestly, Black Dozer ended up putting a bigger lead on Happy Ride than what it had last tour. It just established itself as a little bit better driver this tour than Happy Ride was, so it's just a larger lead for it. Rose Queen did move up 3 spots from 6 to 3. Wild Black did move down 1. And Off-Roader stayed the same at 5. Crawley Cart moved down from 4 to number 6. Fast Frank stayed at 7. Dozer Dasher actually jumped up 9 spots. And again, the big reason for that is because there's a lot of trick courses on Dozer Dasher, and the trick courses have been really, really increasing in terms of use in ranked. And so Dozer Dasher did pick up to go from 17 to number 8, so it jumped into the top 10, I believe, for the first time. Head Honcho did move up 1 spot from 10 to number 9, and then Black Turbo Birdo moved up 17 spots. It moved from 27th to 10th. And again, a lot of those same reasons that I mentioned on the algorithm page is the reason why. It had some buffs. It's used in ranked. It has the ability to have those course coverage value did jump up a lot. So it did jump up, and I think that was surprising for a lot of people. And we've seen a lot of items jump into the top 10 and then just fizzle out and not be seen again. And maybe that'll happen, but that's just a big jump. It's hard not to be noticed. Rounding out the top, the last, the 11 through 15, outside looking in. Again, some notable ones on here, one being Jade Hop Rod. It doesn't show this on here, but Jade Hop Rod actually increased 23 spots. It was in 34th place in last tour, and it jumped up all the way to 11th. So huge, huge value there.
Why did it jump up so high?
What's that?
Why did it jump up as high as it did?
So a big reason why it jumped as high as it did is because of its ranked mode use. And let me look this up real quick. It's been, I'm sorry, not ranked mode use. It's had added values. When it was introduced in the game in Ninja Tour, it had 8 top shelf courses, and then ever since then, it gained 2 in Sydney Tour, it gained 2 more in Bowser vs. DK, it gained 2 more in Trick Tour, and then it gained 3 more here in the Wedding Tour. So its buff value has really, really increased for Jade Hop Rod. And so we'll just have to see what happens on that. It's right on that 5 tour threshold when the buffs usually start slowing down. So we'll just have to see what goes on, in the future. But Jade Hop Ride did make a valiant effort to get in the top 10, fell just short, but still arguably a very good glider. 12 was Gilded King, which ended up falling 4 spots out of the top 10. 13 is Cheap Snorkel, which moved down 1. Wild Pink did move up one from 15 to 14, and then Pumpkin Cart actually dropped out of the top 10 to number 15.
Wow. No, it's I don't have a lot to add to that. I thought you did a phenomenal job. I think that the three things I wanted to point out was the Dozer Dasher and how high that jumped up. I've made this distinction, before, that we don't often see like a reskin being in the top 10 with an original. But we've seen it with maybe the Star Shoot and the Silver Star Shoot, and that might be really the only other situation that we've seen. But now we have the Dozer Dasher as well as the Black Dozer. Because based on ranked and wanting to outperform some of my friends and get that pit crew truth, I did double uncap that Dozer Dasher, and I feel a little bit better about it now. But it is interesting to see that the higher amount of trick tracks that are a part of this game, the more that we see those tracks that have trick in them, or those carts with trick tracks in them, to see that big buff there. That was crazy. And then Black Turbo Birdo, I wouldn't read too high into this. It's not going to jump another 9 spots to number 1 anytime soon. Just it's kind of a put tickets on it if you need to, by all means. But don't get too excited. Don't throw all of your tickets on that. Just it's kind of more of a wait and see type of approach. But it's definitely very interesting there. And then you made a really good points about Jade Hot Rod. Definitely one I would put tickets on if you have to for this week for the Chaco Mountain. But my Go-To King, man, that's a sad moment to see that drop into the number 12. I'm a black and yellow fan, and the Go-To King is one of my favorite. It's been a while since I've seen buffs. It's interesting to see that the Black Dozer, which came out around a similar time, kind of see all of that attention. But we'll see what maybe 12 is its spot, and maybe it drops lower, maybe it drops back in the top, picks back up into the top 10. But sad to see it there. And then finally, when it comes to the top 10, we have the gliders. We have the Dry Bowser Umbrella, as we talked about at full extent there. It's a great glider. Definitely worth putting tickets on. If you have to decide between that or any other glider, go ahead and put tickets on it. It's worth every one. I mean, there's some that might be afraid to pull it again after you get it maxed. Just do it. You're going to be so happy you did. Sunset Balloons rose back up to our number 2. It is a very good glider. It's definitely worth, if you're looking at a pack, it's probably the best pack of the entire tour. Number 2 on our list. Dragon Wings unfortunately fell. We'll see if this is a trend or if it's going to be similar to, say, Rose Queen and Wild Black, and kind of always be in that top 5. And then Gold Crane at number 4 and Strawberry Donut at number 5. Some top 5 gliders that deserve to still be there. The Calco Parafoil, I apologize, I think 2 tours for overlooking it. I mentioned it just briefly on this CCV algorithm. I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm willing to have my opinion change with the Calco Parafoil. Based on that CCV value, that's one that I put a lot of stock into, and so from that perspective, it could continue to rise. I don't see it being a number 1, 2, or 3 glider, but I could see it raising up to a number 4 or 5 glider in the future, just based off of my instinctions. Very valuable glider there. Silver Manta glider and the Black Great Sail both rose. Obviously, the Silver Manta much higher, up a total of 8 spots to number 7. Black Great Sail at number 8 after 3 there. Both of those gliders solid. You probably saw them in packs and pipes. Very similarly together, and so it's not surprising you see them on this list close by one another. And then the Silver Star Shoot, honestly, I don't know how this isn't higher on the list, and maybe the skill's hurting a little bit, but for me, this and the Black Dozer have been my personal MVPs, and helped me so much, not just on ranked, but being a part of All Cup ranking as well. It's one of my favorite gliders just based on its coverage and being in ranked. And then Super Mario glider dropped 4 spots. For what it's worth, I mean, we don't talk a lot about it, but if you, I don't hear a lot of people saying that they took it to 6 or 7, but if you did, still a top 10 glider, but it is number 10 on our list. Spider glider at 11, 8-bit star, former top 10, now at 12. Gold glider, poor Gold glider. It's seen better days, number 13 on our list. Star Shoot number 14, and then Silver Bells at 15. All 15 though solid gliders. I think with the carts we don't see a lot of fluctuation just because there's so many. So it just takes really a lot of effort to get up into that top 10. Whereas the gliders, I mean, we see a lot of new gliders on this top 10, compared to just 2 tours ago. So it's exciting. But I think all 15 of these are solid gliders. Tabor, what's your opinion on the gliders in our top 10?
Yeah, just a little bit of a changing of the guard type tour, I think. We've got Silver Manta, Black Great Sail, Silver Star Shoot. Now, Silver Star Shoot's been in the top 10 before, but all 3 of these jumped into the top 10. This tour were some notable ones, some familiar ones ended up dropping out of the top 10. Gold Glider, Star Shoe, 8-Bit Star. So, and we'll just, again, we're going to just have to kind of judge it and play it by ear and see what happens each tour. But those top 5 stayed top 5, and then kind of 6 through 10 have been switched out. So we'll see if the momentum's behind them for these next couple tours, or if they end up fizzling. We don't know. I do think that the top 5 are going to be pretty solid the rest of the way. I don't see any of the top 5 dropping out of the top 10 anytime soon. But Calico could sneak in, in this next tour or two. We'll just have to keep that in mind as we watch.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on it. That's for sure. Silver and gold hearts. We're not going to talk about the All Cup ranking MVPs, but your attention goes to those 10 tracks. That's right, the silver and gold heart balloons, or silver and gold heart glider has 10 tracks in this All Cup ranking. That's a lot of tracks. I've been holding on to my 6 or whatever tickets to be able to double uncap something. I just double uncapped it for All Cup ranking. It is a massive one. Now I wouldn't say it's a lot of very useful outside of this tour comparatively, say to the top 10. But for this tour, if you were looking to maximize, to try to get that ticket, or if you already have it 7, you want to be able to double uncap it, to go for top 1,000, to go for top 100, to get that badge for the first time. Not a bad one to put into for this tour. And then we have for the items that have 9 tracks, we have obviously Toilet Paper Mario, Grand Bandwagon, and then the Cape Mario Hanafuda. It's interesting that the Hanafuda is up there, but no surprise to Toilet Paper Mario and the Grand Bandwagon. And then for the items with 8 tracks, you have Dixie Kong, Pink Gold Peach, surprisingly Rosalina Aurora, and then moving into carts, you have the Sakura Quickshot, the Mark 12, Red Bee Dasher, which was a gift this tour, and then the Comet Tail. Some interesting items here at the 8th track spot. And then moving into gliders, we have the Rainbow Star Shoot, which I haven't seen in a while. The Gilded Glider, which is nice to see, obviously, for you who might have gotten that. Pink Gold Paper Glider, Blizzard Parasol, Jolly Bells, all right, nice, and then another Hanafuda, the Piranha Plant. Now into the items with 7 tracks this tour for All Cup ranking. Party Time Pauline, I'm sure they used literally all of her tracks for this tour. And then Peach Winter Time with 7 as well, Blizzard Balloons, and then Bullet Bill Hanafuda. So 3 Hanafudas on this list. It's interesting to see what Nintendo's doing with those Hanafudas. Anything you'd like to add to this, Tabor?
Nope.
I know you're not an All Cup ranking guy, but for me, that's the most important slide. Is how am I going to use my tickets to be able to get 100 every single tour? And I've been pretty consistent there. I'll let you take over from here. This is a slide that I agreed with you, but it was your idea that you think would be valuable to mention to the viewers here. But these are the items that have multiple use in ranked. Tell us a little bit about why you think this is important, why someone should look into these items.
Yeah, so as a Gold Pass only, or even those that are free to play, you have limited resources to be able to use, and you want to maximize them as best that you can. So I always look at pipes to see which ones are the most valuable pipes, or is there items in that pipe that I really need for courses that I don't have a top shelf item or things like that. I want to be able to use my resources in the best way possible. And so one of the things, and I alluded to this last rundown, is I talked about how the Silver Bells was just going to be so important in that tour because it was going to be used in so many different courses for ranked. And I decided to go ahead and make a list so we can easily see which items this tour are going to be used in ranked multiple times. And I think this is a really beneficial list. So that way, if you decide to invest in tickets in a specific item, you're not just investing it for this course, you're investing it for multiple courses. And if it's only going to be used in one course, you got to think really, really carefully of whether it's worth it or not. So these are the ones that I came up with. And again, obviously, if it's an L1, you can use it as soon as you acquire it. If it's L3, you're going to have to move it up to a level 3, and L6, you have to move it up to level 6. So looking at the drivers, carts, and gliders, you can see, and I ranked these all the way down. This is the complete list of any item that is used 2 times or more. And there's multiple items that are used only once in one ranked course, but these are the ones that are used in 2 times or more. So you can see that Mario Tuxedo, if you maximize it, if you take it all the way up to level 6, if you have enough tickets and resources to do that, you're actually going to use that as a top shelf item in 4 of the 6 ranked courses, which is a huge coverage for this time only. So even if you don't take it to level 6, you can still use it in 3 of them. So it can be really beneficial if you've got it ranked high enough to be able to use it over other items that are there, especially since it's Coinbox. Mario Racing had 3, and then all the rest of these had 2. Most of those are in L1, but Pinkle Peach is also an L6 top shelf course in a specific one as well. Karts, you can see that B-Dasher, they decided to kind of put some love on it this tour. B-Dasher is actually used 4 different times as a level 1 cart.
That's
so
the Mark II, I believe,
it will cover
right?
4 of the 6 courses.
That's the Mark II? B-Dasher.
Yeah, sorry. B-Dasher Mark II.
Yeah.
Sakura Quickshaw is the same way. It also will cover 4 of the 6 courses if you've got it all the way to level 6. And then you've got Grand Badwagon, that would go to 3, and then a whole bunch of others that are would cover 2 different courses. And then on gliders, Silver and Gold Hearts, not only is it great for the ACR that Studfit talked about in the last slide, but it also will cover 3 of the 6 ranked courses this tour. And then you have a whole bunch of them that will only cover 2. But again, keep in mind that whenever you invest tickets in one of these items, you're investing it in multiple items. So like, let's say, for example, you have Mario Tuxedo at level 1. If you decide to invest tickets and take it, those 4 tickets that I talked about, and take it all the way to level 4, you now have a level 4 driver in 3 different courses, not just the 1 different course. So it's kind of saving you tickets in a way that you can then invest in 1 driver to help you out in other places as well. So this is just a great statistic, I think, and I'm going to continue to use this for my own benefit, but hopefully this helps a lot of other people as well.
I love it. And if you're curious where those tracks were that were level 3 or level 6, we'll jump into that right now, and I'll let you take it from here, Tabor.
Yeah, so these are the 6 ranked courses this tour. The first 3 come from the Mario Cup, and then if everything holds true, the last 3 should be coming from the Hammer Bro Cup. Royal Raceway R is the first course of this week, and as you can see, we have some level 3s and level 6s already established. Cat Peach is a level 3, Mario Hoppy and Pink Gold Peach are level 6s, so those are great. Especially by this point, a lot of people probably already have Pink Gold Peach at level 6 just because it's been in the game for so much, so that'd be a great option to use in Royal Raceway R. Kart, Sunset Cloud are both level 3, and Grand Bagwagon and Red Taxi are level 6. Jumping Mario Hanafuda, Silver Mounted Glider are level 3. Bright Glider and Great Sail are both level 6. For 3DS, Mario Circuit T, Waluigi Bus Driver is a level 3. If you want to use him, he doesn't have great value. Even if you do, you probably have better options out there. Some of those would be Koopa Troopa level 6 and Toadette level 6. So it's interesting to see some normal and some supers in this list as well. Rose Queen is level 3, Sakura Quickshaw is level 6, and Cape Mario Hanafuda is a level 3. As typical, per usual, the newest course in the game usually doesn't have a lot of L3 or L6s. Those get added later when they repeat that course later on in another tour, and that's stayed true here as well. So there's no L3s or L6s for Choco Mountain RT. Again, if Hammer Brother Cup is the next one in the list next week, then you'll have RMX Rainbow Road 2T. You have King Bomb Mob Gold, which comes through for you if you've got him at level 6. He's one of the ones that will help you. Cacti Ice is level 3. Crimson Hop Rod and Party Wing are both level 6s. There is no L3 or L6 gliders, though. Mario Circuit 2 RT, both Pink Shy Guy and Red Yoshi are supers that would help you if you have them at level 6. Both Birthday Girl Rosalina and Green Kitty Cart are normals that would help you at level 6 if you don't have any other options, but you do have Gold Pipe Frame that will help you as well at level 3. And then Late Tricolor and Super Mario Kart Glider are both level 3. Glinting Glider is a level 6 if you're able to acquire that and level it up. And then finally, Royal Raceway T is Funky Kong and Mario Tuxedo are level 6s. Sunset Cloud is 3, Clackety Kart 6, and P-Wing is 6. Rose Parasol is 3, and Chocolate Donut is level 6. I do want to notice before we're done with this slide, take a look at all 6 of these ranked courses. 3 of them are T courses, which is why that T course statistic that I mentioned earlier is going to be so important. A lot of those items that have a T course is really going to start bumping up in value because, again, half of them are T courses, and then also 2 of them are RT courses with 1 regular R. There is actually no regular courses. In terms of combo, that's great because it's always harder to keep a combo on a regular or a R course compared to a T or an RT. So anyway, it looks like things are changing a little bit from what it was because early on in the days we always only had regulars and Rs, but sometimes a sprinkling of Ts and RTs. Looks like things have been changing the last couple of tours. Great
points there. I really love seeing some of these items and seeing where they break out at a certain level. I think this is exactly the type of content of, hey, what's going on behind the scenes? I can't see in my, when I'm opening the app, what, that let's say Chocolate Donut opens up at level 6. Important to know. One thing, just from looking at this, you see Mario Tuxedo opening up Royal Raceway T, and you see him on Royal Raceway regular, or the reverse for ranked. These are tracks that have other Coinbox drivers. There's no doubt about that. And I think that's why he gets a bad rap. But I just want to kind of, as we're wrapping up and we're kind of saying goodbye to everybody, Tuxedo, don't be afraid that he's getting overlapped now. That's perfectly fine. Just know that he's going to get those tracks. But he is a wonderful new addition. I think a lot of people think that there's too many Coinbox drivers, but to me, like that's the fun of the game. If I only use Coinbox drivers the rest of my life, I'm not going to be crying at all. It is a little bit redundant. It'd be nice to see other skills, but that's what this game is, guys. It's a Coinbox game, and this game is run by single boxes, and we have a new Coinbox driver. That's what makes this a very important tour in general, but then also more importantly, I think it's one of those that it was a relief compared to the last couple dud tours that we've seen here. But thank you so much for joining us, Tabor. Thank you, the viewer, for joining us. Definitely hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment if you found anything interesting or want to be able to comment and let us know if we've done anything well or could improve it all as well. But Tabor, thanks for joining us. What would you like to say to your fans before we leave?
Hey, I just want to, again, thanks for the support for those people that are part of it. If you're not part of Sammy D's Kart Life Discord, feel free to join. It's open to anybody and everybody. Just kind of get into more details of the game. A lot of this we talk about in multiple channels on that. So just shout out to him for all that he's done. And you can contact me or Studfit or Sammy D or anybody out there just by simply going into the Kart Life Discord. But again, Studfit, I just want to thank you for this video. I think it's really beneficial for so many people out there, whether it's casual or competitive, just to kind of see the nuances and deep details of this game. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what the future has in store for this game and how week 2 unfolds. So again, just thanks for everybody, and for those people that are still watching, props to you. This is a long video, so nice work, and you guys are the true hardcore gamers out there. So again, Studfit, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. I really enjoy being on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope, unlike the pandemic last year, I hope you're able to find some toilet paper. Thanks, guys.